courageously changed Catholic lives through a Theology of the Body-based young adult program. You've seen part of Marcus' story. I'm here to tell you about Theology of the Body and to present our keynote speaker, Christopher West. I bring you Marcus Guevara.
Hi. Did you enjoy the video? I've seen that video. I've seen that thousands of times, and I'm going to spend the rest of the time trying not to cry up here. I actually did the editing myself, so I've literally seen it thousands of times. So my name is Marcus. I come from San Antonio, Texas. Home of the San Antonio Spurs. I'm still living on a high of that championship. My wife, or my bride, Diane, unfortunately couldn't be here with us today. She couldn't make the trip on the account of being super pregnant. She's about 3 weeks away from her due date. So I managed, she really wanted to be here though, and so she's a little sad. I managed to bring her in a two-dimensional form. She's right here. So she's been going with me everywhere that I go this weekend. 7 years ago, when I took on that promise to save my next kiss for marriage, I had absolutely no idea that God would one day share my story with thousands of people around the world. It's been truly humbling, and here we are. My wife and I, we are the founders of a group called Thirsting for Truth, and we are in the very beginning stages of this ministry. It's very humbling to be here before you today because we only very formally started this in March, and since then God has just been doing wonderful things. But we have a great love story. I know that. I'm very confident in that. And I hope that doesn't come off wrong. I don't mean that in an arrogant manner. I mean that in a very confident manner. And the reason I'm telling you this is because at Thirsting for Truth, we live by the philosophy that every person is created by God with a great love story in mind. Every one of us is destined for greatness. And we're still working on that. We're still trying to live out that calling to greatness. But that's our essential philosophy. Well, right now the church, I believe, that the church needs great witnesses that are courageous, witnesses of sacrifice. People are willing to do whatever it takes to show the joy of Christianity. We need these sort of witnesses. So at Thirsting for Truth, our job is to try and help these witnesses come out of the woodworks. And we have a special love for young adults. So we are, through speaking, through audio CDs, and through videos, and through our website, trying to help youth, young adults, and even adults achieve that greatness that they were all destined for, that God, that love story that God has in mind. I know you guys know the organization is called Thirsting for Truth, and I think that truth that we're thirsting for is that authentic love story that inspires a confidence in us, a confidence in chastity, a confidence in family, and then a confidence in God. And I often say in my talks that the best combat to atheism is a great love story. And so our job is to try and help make that happen, like I said, through speaking services, but primarily through our what we are now forming still, a young adult program. It's a brand new program. I wish I had more time to tell you about it, but it's a free program that essentially tries to do what our archdiocese does. Our inspiration was the archdiocese. Normally when people want to get married, they send them to a weekend retreat. And in that one weekend, they learn about the church's teaching on sex and marriage. They learn about finances and handling conflict and all these other things. And it's squeezed into this one weekend. And oftentimes people are hearing this for the very first time. So our young adult program aims to be a very long-term vocation prep program. So we want to stretch those ideas out over weeks and months and years. So if you want more information on our ministry, we have a table back here in the corner. And that's about all that I want to say, except for the fact that we do have an audio CD. If you enjoyed the video, I have an hour-long audio talk that you for purchase on a CD if you're interested. I now have the great privilege to introduce to you a man who really doesn't need any introduction, and that's why they gave me the job. I really can't mess it up, Most of you probably already know this man very well. I'll do my best anyway. Christopher West is the founder and president of the CORE Project, an international outreach that equips men and women to learn, live, and share the theology of the body as part of the new evangelization. His global lecturing, best-selling books, and multiple media appearances have helped spark an international groundswell of interest in John Paul II's teaching across denominational lines. I can vouch for that. In 2004, he co-founded the Theology of the Body Institute with the great Dave Savage, Matthew Pinto, and he serves today as the Institute's Senior Lecturer of Theology and Christian Anthropology. I just want to say really quickly that, as you heard in the video, my very first introduction to the Theology of the Body was Christopher West's book called An Introduction to the Theology of the Body. And I remember when I read that book, I was so overwhelmed, and I remember listening to a CD set of his called, I believe, it's escaping me right now, I don't know why, but Winning the Battle for Sexual Purity, I believe is what it's called. And I remember sitting in my car in the parking lot, listening to the entire thing and being moved to tears. The reason I tell you that is because I want to say that Christopher has a very special gift and charism to deliver this message in a way that's very moving, very inspiring, and helps to create people like me who are very passionate about the theology of the body. So if tonight you listen, open your ears and you open your hearts, you'll know what I mean. Before I bring him up here, we want to show a quick video. Please welcome me in the honor of joining our brother Christopher West.